Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Another hour of the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255 if you want to chime in. So John Boehner is back in the news. You remember that chick? Used to cry all the time? John Boehner. When I see John Boehner, I see a drunk. I do. And it's funny. Friends of mine who know John Boehner really well say, man, the dude can pound him. He's a throwback. Sort of that Sinatra era, guy that, smoked and drank and, told ethnic jokes and womanized, I mean, and for the record, I don't care. I love that era. I really do. I think that when the Mad Men era, I love that time. Other than to be black, I would have loved to have been back during that time. It was fun. I mean, people just spoke. They smoked in front of each other. The women used their feminine wiles to get ahead. I mean, don't misunderstand me. I agree women need to be able to be emancipated and do whatever they want, and they shouldn't have been held back. But as an era goes, it was a fun thing to look at. When I see that time frame, and that's why I love the show Mad Men, it was like, wow, this is the way things were. And I don't wish that women could take a step back, but it was fun to watch women be real women. And seeing that struggle of how they would use men to get ahead and all that. There's something really, voyeuristic into looking at that through the looking glass. Like, wow, look at that. I remember watching Peggy, or what was the redheaded lady that was the one who Roger was with. I forget her name. Did you guys watch Mad Men? You did? Oh man, love that show. Great show. And what was the guy? The main guy. The cool Don Draper. It's funny when you watch Mad Men and you see Don Draper. Don Draper is the guy you want to be in your life at the same time you don't. You know what I'm saying? The way that character was written, there's hardly a guy alive that didn't want to be Draper, because Draper was cool. I mean, he could come up with an idea, but a bam. And it was like as smooth as, 25-year-old scotch, just. it was cool. The show is sexy. It really is. You got to watch it. If you get in a rerun, watch it. It's worth it. John Hamm, I think his name is Ham. Ham. Is it Jam, Lamb, or Ham? Anyway, he plays Draper. And when you're watching him work, you're like, God, I love the way this guy sells. But then his home life is good and bad. I mean, he's got, what's her name? Something, I can't remember his wife. They got divorced. But anyway, she's got January Jones, I think's her name, something like that. Is she Quincy Jones's daughter? I think she is. Anyway, she plays his wife, and she's hot. She's a nice looking lady. But Draper, he's always getting mixed up with another woman, But here again, the way it happens, you're almost like, yeah, good job, Draper. And I'm not condoning, him having affairs in the show. I'm just saying you find yourself torn, because, and the other side of it is you're going, there's no reason for this guy to do that. Why is he doing it? And that's the conflict. I mean, cool show. Anyway, Boehner, when I look at Boehner, he reminds me of that time. A time when white men ruled the earth. They got ahead. You wouldn't want to be a brother back then. There was only so much you could do. But there's a part of me, honestly, that goes, I'd like to try it. I'd like to try to be that brother that gets ahead. It's the same way women were trying to get ahead. I could see him saying, we can't put a colored fellow on that account. And Draper saying, why not? We've got Kevin Jackson. Man, I would love to do it. And then I go take down like the big deal. Like I go get, the big hotel deal or the big car deal or whatever. And there's another part of it was fascinating to me because it was like being a rep. You always went after the big line that was out there, hey, I heard Coca-Cola's looking. Really? And so you start working behind the scenes. You don't know how much money it's going to take for you to get them. I'm just telling you, I was a manufacturer's rep, and that's what would happen with us. We'd say, oh, Samsung's looking for a new rep. They just fired so-and-so. Really? Oh, and you were hoping just to get an interview. And most of the time in the company my size, we didn't get the interview. Maybe that's what it is, that little throwback to a different time in my life when I ran a rep company. But it reminds me of that. Anyway, Boehner came out blasting everybody, I think he blasted Levin. Here's what he said. He pointed the finger at Levin. I always liked Rush. When I went to Palm Beach, I would always meet with Rush and we'd go play golf. But who was that right-wing guy, Levin? He went really crazy right and got a big audience, and he dragged Sean Hannity to the dark side. He dragged Rush to the dark side. And these guys, I used to talk to them all the time, and suddenly they're beating the living crap out of me. He used a different word. He said, I had a conversation with Hannity, probably about the beginning of 2015. I called him and said, listen, you're nuts. We had this really blunt conversation. Things were better for a few months and it got back to being the same old, but I wasn't going to be a right-wing idiot. Now, this is Boehner talking about guys like me, because I'm a right-wing zealot. I'm right of Reagan. And you know why? Because that's the place to be. And here's Boehner. He's essentially disrespecting us. Who the heck is this guy to be? Well, I can tell you, he's a drunk. He's that throwback. I call them anachronisms because they're stuck in a time that they believe is still relevant, but it's moved past them. They're looking at, you tell time. They're like, you give them the time. They're like, how'd you tell time? And you're like, it's on my phone. What? It's on your phone? Or you say, hey, check this out. And you show them a video on your phone and they're like, where'd you come from? Outer space, man. They don't get it. That's what Boehner is. All these guys are so detached from reality. The reality is what they remember. That's why even guys like Paul Ryan, you got to get rid of them because they can't make that transition to understand that, you know what? The world of politics has moved beyond you. If you're playing politics from a decade ago, you're old news. Barack Obama tried to play politics from a decade ago when it worked for him. When he had social media gravitas and he knew what he was doing and he was mover and a shaker. Then here's Trump coming along going, really? You think you knew social media? Watch me tweet. And he crushed him. That's what's going on with Boehner.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.